The rain was falling hard that evening, the kind of rain that soaks through clothes and hope at the same time, when a single dad knelt on the muddy roadside fixing a stranger's broken motorbike with trembling, oil-stained hands, unaware that this one small act of kindness was about to change his entire life forever. Before the story pulls you deeper into this journey of pain, kindness, and unexpected love, take a second to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel if you truly believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of humanity. And tell us in the comments where you're watching from, because stories like this connect hearts across the world. Daniel Carter had not planned to stop that evening. His pockets were nearly empty, his body exhausted from a double shift at the repair shop, and his mind heavy with worries about rent, school fees, and the quiet sadness in his young son's eyes. Ever since his wife had passed away 3 years ago, life had become a constant battle against time and despair. Daniel was a good mechanic, known in his small town for honest work, but honesty didn't always pay enough. Every morning he woke before sunrise, made breakfast for his 8-year-old son Ethan, packed his school bag, and kissed his forehead with a promise he wasn't always sure he could keep, that everything would be okay. That night, as Daniel pushed his old bicycle home through the rain, he noticed a sleek black motorbike stalled on the side of the road. Standing beside it was a woman soaked to the skin, frustration clear on her face, yet there was something calm and graceful about her even in distress. Daniel hesitated. He was tired. He wanted to go home. But something inside him, something his late wife had always admired, wouldn't let him walk away. He parked his bicycle, wiped his hands on his worn jacket, and approached the motorbike. The woman introduced herself as Sophia Reed, her voice soft but strong. She said she was passing through town when the bike suddenly died. Daniel didn't ask questions. He didn't notice her expensive watch hidden under her sleeve or the quiet confidence that came from a life of privilege. All he saw was someone stranded in the rain. With simple tools from his bag, he knelt down and worked patiently, rainwater mixing with grease as his fingers moved with practiced skill. It took nearly half an hour, but the engine finally came back to life. Sophia's eyes widened with relief and gratitude. She offered him money, far more than the repair was worth, but Daniel refused politely. He said he couldn't take advantage of someone in trouble, and besides, he just wanted to get home to his son. That moment stayed with Sophia long after she rode away. She had met countless people in her life, business partners, admirers, opportunists, but never someone who helped without wanting anything in return. What Daniel didn't know was that Sophia Reed was the CEO of a global technology empire, a billionaire who had everything except the one thing she longed for most, real love. Sophia wasn't just traveling randomly that night. She had been searching for something she couldn't find in boardrooms or luxury penthouses. After years of failed relationships built on status and money, she had decided to step away from her world for a while, to see how ordinary people lived, to understand what was missing in her own heart. Meeting Daniel felt like fate stepping in quietly, without announcement. Days later, Sophia returned to the small town, this time on foot, dressed simply. She found Daniel at the repair shop, surprised but smiling when he recognized her. She thanked him again and insisted on paying for his time by asking him to service her bike properly. Over the next few weeks, Sophia kept finding reasons to come back. She listened as Daniel talked about Ethan, about his wife Lily who had died from illness, about the loneliness that settled into the house every night after his son fell asleep. Sophia found herself drawn not just to his kindness, but to his strength, his honesty, and the gentle way he spoke about love and loss. Daniel, on the other hand, felt conflicted. Sophia was different from anyone he had ever known, curious, warm, deeply empathetic. Yet he believed someone like her could never truly belong in his struggling world. He was a single father barely holding things together, and the last thing he wanted was to bring instability into his son's life. Still, when Sophia spent time with Ethan, helping him with homework and laughing at his stories, Daniel saw a light in his son's eyes he hadn't seen in years. Life, however, is never simple. When the truth about Sophia's identity finally surfaced, it shook everything. Daniel discovered her billionaire status accidentally through a news article. He felt betrayed, small, and foolish. He believed she had been playing a role, treating his life like an experiment. Old wounds reopened, reminding him of how vulnerable he had been since losing his wife. He pulled away, building walls again, convinced that someone from her world could never understand his struggles. Sophia was heartbroken. For the first time in her life, money couldn't fix what was broken. She tried to explain that she never meant to deceive him, that she simply wanted to be seen as a person, not a title. She confessed that helping him that rainy night had been the first time she felt truly alive in years. But Daniel needed time. He needed to protect his son and his fragile sense of dignity. Weeks passed in silence. The repair shop struggled. Bills piled up. Then one evening, Daniel received a letter, not from Sophia, but from her foundation. It offered funding to rebuild the repair shop, provide free training for underprivileged youth, and support single parents in the community. There was no demand for recognition, no request for gratitude. Just quiet kindness. Daniel finally understood that Sophia's heart had been genuine from the beginning. When they met again, there were no grand gestures, only honesty. Daniel admitted his fears. Sophia admitted her loneliness. They realized love wasn't about wealth or status, but about standing beside each other when life was hardest. Slowly, carefully, they chose to build something real, not just for themselves, but for Ethan and the community that had shaped Daniel's life. Years later, people would talk about how a simple roadside repair led to a love story that changed countless lives. But for Daniel, the real miracle wasn't the money or the transformation, it was learning that kindness given freely always finds its way back, often in forms we never expect. If this story touched your heart even a little, please take a moment now to like the video, share it with someone who believes in kindness, and subscribe to the channel so we can keep bringing stories like this to life. And before this story ends, tell us in the comments what kindness means to you, because your words might inspire someone who needs hope today.